I'm just sitting here waiting for my computer to restart, and it's overwhelming to me what we're going through in America today. It's frustrating to anybody who sits here and looks at the videos, which is an unprecedented thing that we're going through. We're going through a regime change where we're seeing this authoritarian dictatorship come and take over the United States. If you think that it's not yet here, you're absolutely mistaken. It's been here since the beginning of 2025. The Republican Party has decided that it needs to take the United States by force, and opposition be damned. Even though that's not the American way. We are here discussing and debating and doing all the other things that we need to do in order to have a civil society. We're the best at it, and this is not our best. And so it's unprecedented that we see these videos and we are just appalled, and we have access to the truth as opposed to the propaganda. If you listen to Kristi Noem, if you listen to the president, if you listen to anyone in the White House or in the administrative bureaucracy, they are giving you lies. They're trying to tell you to believe something that isn't true. It's an unprecedented situation until you go back to our early founding. You go back to before the Civil War. And you realize how much of this actually is very similar, just in different context. I sit here wondering what I'm going to do about it. I go to church. I'm not there because I'm a Christian. I grew up Christian. I was raised, and I was in the church prior as a Christian, a baptized Christian. I'm there for perspective. I'm there for opinion. I'm there to kind of gauge the rhetoric that's happening with Christian nationalism, but also just because I trust the people that I go to church with. To say that I believe that people in my church are appalled and frustrated with this whole regime, just like everybody else is, it's an interesting development in the way that even Christian nationalism is rolling out. It's been here forever. If you don't believe that it's been here forever, again, you're kind of just putting your head in the sand and deciding not to believe anything, to be honest, at this point. Because Christian nationalism has been here for generations. Part of my family would be considered Christian nationalist if they were given that opportunity. As a working father of a not large family, but one that needs a lot of support, that tries to support his family as much as possible, his community as much as possible, I'm kind of in the worst place you can be in terms of a person with ADHD, because I'm trying to figure out where I fit in. As a middle-aged white male, working, middle class, I'm lost. I'm lost on where I start. I don't have a lot of time, so I can't just go out and start protesting. I have to consider the risks to my family because I have LGBTQ kids. I have a wife who can't work because of lupus and because of high anxiety, which this climate is not any good for that. But I have to consider my family, and regardless of whether I agree with capitalism, I agree with the way that the United States works in terms of workers and income, that's the reality. I have to work within it. So I'm a good employee, and I just put my head down and I work. But I also want to be a good community member. I want to be a good dad. And if I am the father that I have been, I want the best for people. I want to serve people. And I don't know where to start in this case because it's everything all at once. They've flooded the zone already, and the water keeps coming. They've won. This is what Project 2025 was supposed to be. Flood the zone with everything that they could think of to create chaos, sow discord into the American fabric, and then do whatever the fuck you want after that. Beat the shit out of people, exfiltrate money to other countries, go do wars. We know that we're just going to get our budgets pushed through. The ACA extensions are just a way to placate people, which is really crazy to say for something that's been extended past, presumably, the tenure of the president and the current administration. Looking at exactly what they extended, it was a compromise so that it shuts people up, so that we can just accept everything else that's happening. And that's cynical, right? It's a bit cynical. It's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a way to basically, that approach to say that it's obvious that it's done in, bad faith is just it's a way to find fault with everything that they do. But I don't think you can just disregard the truth just because it's inconvenient, just because it might have a connotation that you don't really want to get to, and that there's a debate around. But it's still there. It still exists. It's still a compromise to shut people up. The ACA was extended, but the Epstein files weren't released. The ACA was extended, but then President Trump wants to spend another 100% increase in war spending. It's not defense spending. We aren't defending ourselves from anything. If we were, we would actually put that money into the courts. The court system needs to be funded and actually correctly administered, not just circumvented every time that we want. But regimes don't want courts. They'll hold the regime accountable because the law is inconvenient. Listen to Donald Trump talk. He talks all about how the law is wrong and just doesn't matter. It's inconvenient to what he wants to do. And everything, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and then I got to get back to what I was doing. But everything that the administration says should be considered false until proven true. Every single thing. All of its rhetoric, all of its propaganda, all of it is bullshit. And I would be saying the same thing regardless of what party was in power. I am not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. And this is the fucking reason why. So if you're like me, you don't know where to start, just try to find a volunteer position or a place where you can protest quickly. And if they're going to put their masks on, you can put your mask on. It doesn't really fucking matter. But start somewhere. Help your neighbor. Help society. And don't be a douchebag.